Okay, hello everybody and welcome to today's OpenONU Go call. Thanks for joining. As usual, the call is public and recorded and will be shared live on YouTube. So please be mindful of the comments you make and the information you share. First of all, I wanted to have an update on what I believe it's a finished task on Girish. From Girish regarding the disable of the ONU device. I believe this has been done with two more patches that you pushed, right, Girish?
Yeah, this task is completed, yes.
Okay. Is there anything that needs to be checked more on this topic?
No, nothing more.
Okay, good. On the next topic, the memory leak, the patches have been backported to 2.8 and 2.9. Thanks to Holger, I also shared a guide on how to do the analysis, and you can now see it at docs.volta.org. And if you go and check here, the memory usage investigation under testing, it just shows you a bunch of steps on how you could investigate some of the outputs and just tells you a few more things here. So this is indeed something that we would have to do. I created GRES to do it on the other elements, such as the OLT adapter, the ONU, the core, and the VoltCTL, sorry, the RF agent, maybe VoltCTL, but I don't believe there is any state in there. We have to extend yet to do the add of delete the OLT many times and see if this is something that affects the memory as well. So that's a JIRA we have to create, I think. Let me do this. We have not yet extended the test to add and delete multiple times the 1024 use. I'm using the scale cluster for some testing of FTTB and the normal scale, so that's why I've not extended that. But I do know that Girish has made some progress in making some checks of the memory consumption in our soak pod. So Girish, do you want to say a few words?
Yeah, I submitted a patch that logs the initial memory consumption for all the Volta pods. And at the end of the test, it logs the memory consumption. So the cluster itself is not removed, but these tests are running periodically. So at each periodic test, I log the memory consumption at the start and at the end. At the moment, these logs are, this information is not post-processed, but a subsequent patch could come where we post-process this information. And if the threshold, if the increase threshold is, if the increase in memory is above a certain threshold, you may want to log an error or fail the test. That's not there, but at least we have the information of the memory consumption at the start and at the end. Yeah.
Girish, do you log it for each container separately?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
okay.
OF agent, OpenONU and OpenOLT adapter and the read-write core.
And at RW core.
Yeah, separately.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, you may want to just show. I mean, I am on my mobile phone, so, and since you're sharing, you may want to show that. No, I meant the soak pod. When did this last run?
This is 31st of January. I think we need.
Oh, it's quite old. Yeah, I ran it on there is a separate job. Oh yeah, that one. most likely this one. Yeah. Yeah, so it logs this way for each container.
Andrea, could you put the link in the minutes?
Yes, I can.
So it logs in the CSV format. It logs the date and time, comma, the memory consumption in bytes. It's easy for post-processing.
Sounds good.
Okay, so this is something that we can start looking at. So that's one of the next steps. I believe from an OpenONU Go perspective, apart from testing, and we'll come to that later, there is not really anything else we need to do, right?
Regarding memory consumption, I think we are on the green side now, on a good side.
Good. Okay. Next up, there is the delete gem port for multicast in IPTV scenarios. There is a discussion between Ozge and Girish on the patch. Maybe you guys want to explain it here so everybody's aware, and then we can make a decision on exactly what needs to be done.
Yeah, so in my opinion, I don't know if this is a big deal. The gem port is fixed. It's 4069, or you could, I think it's configurable, but it's fixed. And there is one gem port that is fixed on the PON port resource pool. So it gets deleted or not, I don't think that's a big concern since it's reserved. And moreover, the OpenONU adapter does not send gem port deletes for multicast gem ports. It only sends them for bidirectional gem ports. And also sending this gem port for multicast is quite tricky. It's possible, but tricky because this gem port is used by all the multicast groups on that PON port. You could track and reference count and then delete, etc. But it's quite tricky, and I don't think it makes sense given that it's reserved and there is just one gem port that is for the PON port. Yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Actually, I was discuss this topic with my colleagues, and actually we have two different solutions for this bug. First solution is OLT adapter send delete message to multicast gem port. Second solution is if ONU adapter received delete request for vote, then I will delete multicast gem port on ONU. And I talked with my colleagues, and they said me OLT does not need to delete multicast gem port. It is not problem for OLT devices, but you didn't delete multicast gem port. It is problem for ONU device. Because of that, I choose second solution. I don't know which one is best. We can discuss this. I can't say that.
Sorry, I did not get the second point. So what is the trigger for if OLT does not send? So what is the trigger for ONU to delete the gem port?
if IPTV service has two gem port, VOD gem port and multicast gem port. If
okay, got it.
if you received delete request to VOD gem port, then I will delete multicast gem port.
I think that makes sense given that VOD gem port is part of the same tech profile as multicast. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I can do that.
I also have been started local test with hardware, and I need to still working on this bug.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks.
Okay, so I'll leave it up and we can take the next steps and then figure out next call where we stand. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so on the software update, this is a good point. The next, there was two items open here. One is the optimization that the group at Radisys is doing to forward all the OMCI packets for an update within the same gRPC message. And that is actually merged. It's done. What we need to do, and this is up to me, is to actually check for improvements at scale. We had a few issues with our scale cluster in the past few days, so the job did not really run in the last few days, but it will run from today. I'll do some checks and I'll report the status on that. Regarding the same test, we actually started announcing, it's actually not a new API, but we announced the list, status command to take no arguments except the image. And that allows us to return all the ONUs, and that is for scale a much better solution and a much better way to check the state. And the test will be updated. This work was done by Elia. Elia, do you have anything else to add on it?
Yeah, no, I think you explained it perfectly. It was just about removing the requirement for an ONU serial number or identifier. And if there is no identifier, the core, when it replies, takes care of getting all the ONUs in this call.
Okay. Okay. Next, we will update the tests with that announcement, and it's probably going to be done by Hardik. Any questions on this topic?
That means there will be the same API is used towards the OpenONU adapter as already implemented, right? It's only an issue of the core, yeah?
Yeah, no changes. No changes
I see.
on the ONU adapter side.
I see.
Okay. Good. On the voice over IP front POTS support, any update, Ozge, or is just as is?
Unfortunately, I just have bad news. Last week I said General Mobile sent a new firmware for voice over IP, and I tried this firmware, but ONU does not reply MIP message, and I disabled MIP response, but ONU doesn't activate it. And this firmware is, I think, vendor should review it. And I didn't try general mobile device.
Okay, so what's the next step here?
Actually, I don't know. All devices and vendor does not support for voice over IP. We are just waiting email from vendor side.
Okay. Okay. I guess we can. I guess we can wait. If you want, and maybe we can take this offline. But I could reach out to a few of my contacts to see if maybe they can do something about this, or put them in contact with you, because you mentioned Zyxel over there, and I do have some contacts, so maybe I can put you in contact there. Let me do that.
Can you share on this document?
I'll send an email to you with the Zyxel contacts.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, but it will come. It's on my to-do list. I'll add it.
No problem.
I'll add it. Okay, so it's good. Okay, on the exporting of the ME names, Holger, I believe this is done. We just merged the patch, so I don't think there is anything else we need to do, right?
Right, you merged the patch yesterday. It's done.
Yeah. Okay. And BBC was done by Elia, so I think we are good to go on that front. Is there anything that you have encountered while doing this that is worth noting, like any issue within the library or the core or the code that you have discovered by doing this? I don't believe so, but
oh, it was actually straightforward.
Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, go ahead.
A lot of constant definitions has been removed, private ones in the ONU adapter. Now we are using the ones from the OpenONU. I think it's a much better approach now.
Yeah, I think it's a much better approach. Also because we're actually 100% sure we use the same ones as BBC. Because whenever there is an update of the library, the update gets done in both BBC and the adapter. Thus, the constants are the exact same ones. So this is really good.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. I don't see Chip on the call, but I don't expect any major update from him on the different elements within his within OMCI libgo. I don't actually foresee any big changes coming into the library in the upcoming future. So I think we're good to go on that front as well. Okay. On the last topic, but I think it's going to be a little bit big, is on the testing front from Thorsten. So Thorsten, fire it away. I know what you have been doing, but I'll leave you the floor.
Yes, the last week was only one issue, the SSH issue with the new owners with updated CARAF. Last week, I had a solution which seems to work, but then we see some other issues there, and it was necessary to upload some different small patches. Hopefully with the last one from today, we have it. Not sure, we will see what will bring for tomorrow in the pipelines. But I think in the main, it is solved and we can go on with it. Yes, it was a lot of time which I needed for it, but so it goes. Okay, by the way, for the MIP audit today, Holger and me saw the first time the expected events, so I can start to implement the test the next time, as well as software upgrade tests can be backported to 2.8, which I was moved to the end. It's not so.
So, Thorsten, sorry, you were saying that there is a patch for the test, and it is, if I'm not mistaken, this one from Holger. So if people don't mind, please do review this patch. It's the one that we discussed a bunch of time ago. We're introducing a few new events in Karaf for the elements of the mid-sync state and the mismatches and things like that. So now Thorsten can actually do the tests. Holger, anything you want to update on that?
Currently, the new events are sent out for OMC communication errors in normal configuration, OMCI handling, as well as in software upgrade handling, and also up in MIP data sync mismatch when we do the MIP audit. One question would be left. We also thought about issuing an event, a new event for rebooting the ONU. But currently, the rebooting of the ONU is only triggered via external RPC. Do you want to have an additional event for this, or not for the external triggered one?
I believe we don't need it because, I mean, the ONU reboot, at least in my mind, is equivalent to a port down event and a port up event. And we do have those. Uni down, uni up.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay.
Or loss of signal and
yeah, there's a bunch of them. There's many of them, among which the ones I just mentioned. So I think if we need that, we can use one of those events. What do you think?
Actually, you are right. We get from another source that there was a reboot. The ULT is detecting it. And actually also the operator knows that he has rebooted the ONU. So probably it's a little bit over-engineered at this place.
Yes. Agreed.
So I will leave it now at in the OMC communication failures and the MIP audit failures, right? That would be, so we would start with, right?
Yeah.
With this event. Okay.
Unless somebody else has different thoughts.
We also talked about different counters or something like this, but I think we don't need counters for CRC errors and something like this, but it's also over-engineered at the moment, I think.
I think so, yes, I agree.
Then the patch should be ready.
Okay, yeah, I'll make a review. It's on my to-do list. If anybody else has the time, please do make that review as well. And we can then take it from there.
as Thorsten said, is already tested.
Good. Okay. Any other? So okay, on actually this we had. Okay. And sorry, Thorsten, before I interrupted you, you were talking about the software upgrade tests. Go ahead.
Yes, the backporting to 2.8 is then the next issue or the next task I will do after the MIP audit. And
Okay. Okay. I remember we also talked about an existing test you developed for the memory leak that we discussed before, that adds and deletes the ONU multiple times. And we discussed upstreaming it to ONF and then checking what we could do with it. Or is that still a plan, or you prefer to keep it internal at Adran and just not have it not having even seen outside? Because I'm not saying we will include it in our nightly tests. I'm saying let's take a look at it and then decide.
We can upload it. The question is where we should upload it in the system test, in an own directory, like a memory leak test, or what do you think? Yes.
Sure.
Okay. I will do it tomorrow. It's no problem.
Okay.
It's a very simple test. It's not sophisticated.
I would say let's put it up, and then I can discuss with Hardik and the rest of the team how to include it, if to include it. Maybe maybe there is a set of tests that we decide to run, like when we start the code freeze, we enable these tests as well. Like, I don't know. What I'm saying is let's see it and let's decide what to do with it.
It's no problem. I can do it. But I have a further point.
Sure.
I would like to remember you to put the basics for the 2.9 for patch verification.
Yes.
We talked about I think 2 weeks.
Yes. Sorry.
No problem. But when I've tried to report to backport something or Holger, then we needed this.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk with Hardik and make sure that is done.
Okay, thanks.
Andrea, shouldn't we think about at least doing probably a 2.9 run patches every month or so? Because currently we have no regression, no Jenkins regression at all for 2.9, right?
I know. So the thing is, our tests and infrastructure is pretty much clogged with the jobs. And I'm talking about the hardware infrastructure. What we could do is we could set up maybe not all the jobs, but like a couple of them in BBSIM. So maybe one OpenONU Go job, the base BBSIM job, I think we could do.
Yeah, that would be good. Because when we do the backporting all the time, then at least feedback should be implemented. Test feedback.
Yeah, that shouldn't be too difficult to do. I'll ask Hardik to do that as well.
Probably the multi OLT ONU based scenario, not the single one.
Okay.
Holger wants the long runner.
Yeah, exactly. So long it is not. It's not so long.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, BBCM is the spins up an AWS instance, so I don't see that as an issue. We can do that. Yeah, we can do that. So that's okay. Okay. Anything else on your side, guys? Okay. So if there is no further topic, I think we could close the meeting a little earlier so we can start taking action on the action items that we need to be aware of. And thanks for joining. As usual, I'll publish the recording and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for the great work, everybody. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.